Hey, what's going on, everybody? Benny here with BrewBodz and Barbells, where we lift pints and weights. And today I just want to hop on here real quick, let y'all know we're adding a new layer to the channel. We're still doing beer spotlights. We're still breaking down the malt, the hops, the styles, the brewery history, the can art, the story behind the pour, right? That's not going anywhere. That's what we are at the core. But now we're also getting into something that I think the industry needs more of, and that's craft beer news with a twist, right? So, not just headlines, not just this brewery opened, this brewery closed, this style is trending. No, not nothing like that. We're gonna dig deeper than that. I'm gonna be giving basically the details behind it. I'm gonna be taking everything that I read anyways, and giving my take on it, and actually sharing that with you because what I'm starting to see is not everyone kind of knows what's going on, and so I figured this would be a great opportunity to get people like the community more involved because right now craft beer is in this wild spot. Breweries are closing. We already know that. New breweries are still opening, thankfully. Um, Lagers are making a serious comeback, and low ABV beer is growing. Non-alcoholic beer is getting better and selling off the shelves. Taprooms are becoming community spaces. Bottle shops are even changing that I'm seeing. Distro is getting a little tighter. Margins are getting thinner. That's what it is at its core. And drinkers are changing too. So we're going to be talking about all that. We're going to be talking about some breweries that why are some of them struggling while others are finding ways to expand, grow, and even build brand new breweries. And we're going to be talking about why the beer fridge looks a little different than it did 5 years ago. We're going to talk whether craft beer is actually dying or is it going through a reset. We're gonna go over why lagers are showing back up strong and why those simple beers might actually show off more of the brewing skill than people realize, right? I've spent a lot of time with brewers and I've seen really what it takes to make that beer come to fruition, and it's important that that gets out there. We're gonna be covering, obviously the IPAs, stouts, sours, seasonals, taproom culture, beer festivals, uh, state guilds. That's important. Collabs, shelf space. The beer laws, the trends, the business decisions that shape basically what ends up in your glass. And I don't want this to feel like some boring industry report. I deal with a lot of spreadsheets on a daily and try to find problems before they become them. And so, what I think is going to be most important with this is, um, you know, I want us to feel like we're sitting at the bar and like basically saying like, "Hey, yo, look what's happening around," and saying, "All right, what does this really mean though? Like, what does it mean for a brewery trying to keep the lights on? What does it mean for the bartender explaining styles to a new customer? What does it mean for a bottle shop deciding what to put on its shelf? Unfortunately, you can't just put anything and everything because they have to sell. And so, what does it mean for the drinker who just wants great beer and a good place to enjoy it? And, what does it mean for local craft beer moving forward, right? That's the lane I really want to step in, especially as I expand this brand, expand this reach now. Beer education, industry news, real talk, storytelling, and my take from someone who loves this world, studies this world, works around this world, and wants to see it grow in the right way. Because the more I get into craft beer over the years, the more I realize the beer itself is only part of the story. There's a whole world behind it. You got farmers, maltsters, hop growers, brewers, sales reps, distributors, taproom staff, bottle shops, guilds, events, customers, and communities. There is so much that I've learned about this, and I really think everyone can kind of benefit from, seeing deeper into it than just, what you pour in that glass. And so every pint has a chain of people behind it that not only depend on it as their job, but also opportunities that otherwise weren't there. So we're still going to be celebrating the beer, but we're also going to lift the hood on and look at the engine, basically. What's working, what's changing, what's being overlooked, and where the industry is headed next. So if you're into craft beer, brewery stories, taproom culture, beer education, industry news, or you just want to understand what's really going on behind the pint glass, this is where you want to be because I promise you this, craft beer is way more interesting than just what's on a can label. There are stories under that, and we're going to go after them. This right here is BrewBodz and Barbells at its core. We're lifting pints, we're lifting weights, and now we're lifting the hood on the craft beer industry, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.